I love most about Kirsten, and I'm sure all of you do too. Kirsten and I first met at the very beginning of medical school. I know there's already been a shout out to the Volkswagen Beetle, but we're going to do it again here. I remember seeing a girl with huge brown curls pulling up in the most obnoxious yellow Volkswagen Beetle with the hugest eyelashes on the headlights. And whether it was her bubbly personality or the promise of unlimited mimosas at Lynn and Bruce's every Sunday brunch, thank you, I was in. The two of us clicked so immediately, and it's still unlike any other friendship I've experienced to this day. Over those first few days, people often asked us how long we had known each other, assuming we'd been friends since childhood, even though we actually just met. I think this speaks to Kirsten's unmatched personability. By now, Madison is familiar with Kirsten's tendency to jet across Canada to work in Canada's most isolated communities. While I've never doubted Kirsten's passion for rural medicine, there's always been a secondary benefit to her subsidized air travel. Pit stops to visit her countless friends and family, often a family member named Andrew, from coast to coast to coast. Most of you know that if Kirsten is even in your time zone, you're going to be hearing from her for a visit. She even once took my husband's cranky grandmother to White Spot for lunch because she would just happen to be in Burnaby. Living in a country as big as Canada can make it hard to keep in touch and even harder to be together. Kirsten is a friend who bucks that trend. I'd wager that she's close with more friends from high school than any of us here tonight, despite having lived across the country, or moved across the country several times. Kirsten has visited me several times since we graduated medical school, even when it meant paying a hefty sum for a long plane ride, and we're closer friends because of her. We can all take a lesson from Kirsten's book when it comes to making the effort to keep close with those who matter most, even when it means joining a couple on their honeymoon, which Kirsten did for my husband and I. One of the things I admire most about Kirsten is her style of being a family doctor. She's combined her zest for the outdoors with a commitment to help rural communities. She knew she wanted to be a rural family doctor very early in medical school, and she's walked the walk on that more than any of our medical peers. In recent years, we've regularly texted back and forth when medical dilemmas arise. One day, Kirsten was working in a remote northern community, caring for a very sick patient in the emergency department. She texted me the details of the case and asked, "Do you think I should call the intensive care doctor now?" Having heard about the medical disaster she was faced with, my response was unequivocal. "Yeah, girl, right now." Kirsten tightened her belt, rehearsing the case presentation in case she faced a cranky doctor on the other line. She paged the ICU doctor, but moments later, her own pager beeped. Kirsten must have forgotten she wasn't in Vancouver anymore, because Dr. Desjardins Lorimer was in charge of the emergency department and the intensive care that night. After her classic, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? She settled down and she did what she does best. She went to the bathroom and she cried. I'm just joking, she didn't actually do that, but that's what I would have done if I was in that circumstance, and probably what most of the doctors in the room would have done as well. But what Kirsten did, yeah, the table is there saying, "Oh yeah." But what she did was she pulled up her scrubs and took the best damn care of that patient, stabilize them, and transfer them to a bigger tertiary care center. I think this story really highlights the challenges of practicing rural medicine, and this is a lifestyle that Kirsten has absolutely embraced with huge open arms. I actually cannot wait to see where your medical career takes you. At Kirsten's bachelorette party, we played a game where I asked Kirsten and Madison on separate occasions questions about their relationship. We wanted to see if their answers matched. When Madison was asked what her favorite quality about Kirsten was, Madison responded that she always makes Kirsten laugh. I do love that answer. And when we played Madison's response, Kirsten immediately agreed. But I cannot give you too much credit, Madison, because I vividly remember one summer, Kirsten and I were sitting by a pool somewhere, and I look over and she's laughing out loud while she's reading a book. I look closer, and she was reading A Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I've read that, and I'm sure most of you have, and I think we can agree it's not funny. I've always thought you should marry someone who makes you calm, someone who you are at ease around. Even more, the best partner is the person who lets their goofy side shine through. Someone who doesn't judge and in fact embraces your love for things like Tiva dad sandals and Harry Potter podcasts. When you spend even a few minutes with Kirsten and Madison, it's easy to sense that they're both their most genuine selves around each other. Madison, I remember the first time I met you. We were at a bar called Sing Sing in Vancouver, and I remember thinking how calm Kirsten looked. She has clearly found her home in you. All I can ask from a best friend is that her life partner is someone who loves and cherishes her. In Madison, Kirsten has found that and more, including one thing that I'm very envious of, which is having a partner like Madison who is an expert gift giver, as evidenced by Kirsten's thoughtful 30th birthday video, which I'm sure many of you contributed to. It has become so clear to me that the two of you share such a beautiful bond. Can we please raise our glasses and toast the brides to many years of love, laughter, and adventures around Canada and the world, with a stop-in to see every single one of you as you grow this beautiful partnership for the rest of your lives. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Emily. I never considered this before, but I guess Kirsten really benefits from this relationship because she can get her Harry Potter podcasts right from the source. Any Flipendo listeners here? All right, our next speech is from Madison's maid of honor, Gabby.